Well, fame killed Ted Williams, the man with the golden voice. Ironically, it looks like the very thing that pulled the man with the golden voice out of the gutter and placed him into the limelight may be the very thing that will destroy him. Already we see signs of his demise as the ratings vultures set him up to pick his life to pieces on their shows. Even Oprah raced out front to lay claims to his ratings fame by announcing she was going to have him announce her new television network. Paradoxically, he might have been better off in his harsh hut in the woods, alone and obscure, than under the limelight of scrutiny. Bear in mind that when he was discovered and his voice revealed on a YouTube site, there wasn't any mention of his addictions, his family obligations, or his criminal past. All people seemed to be interested in was rescuing another poor victim from the horrors of his street life and showering the world with his God-given talent. Recently, Dr. Phil got a big piece of him too. No doubt offering him a nice fee for coming on the show, signing away his life for a hefty sum, and confronting his family for all the world to critique. Personally, I think that was a big mistake for Ted. He should have stuck with his radio announcements and tried to remain in semi-anonymity. Now everyone is in his business. Dr. Phil set the pace by asking him serious questions because he wants to help the little man. With that thought in mind, he deftly uncovered the worst facts from his crime sheet he could find. For instance, fraud, theft, forgery, public indecency, and his crack addiction. Ted has been made to feel he must confess everything and get his life right. Dr. Phil, the confessor, sets the pace by demanding that Ted clean up his act, quit his drunken past, stop his use of drugs. Phil moves into Ted's life and begins ordering him around as if he was his stepchild, setting up an agenda that he must follow. My question is, why must Ted make amends to the public, assuage himself of guilt for the behavior in his past? Is it because people demand an apology for his past, or is it because this lucky guy has gone from obscurity to meteoric fame, and now everyone wants to bring him back down because he is making a lot of money? Okay, yes, I believe that changing his bad habits and getting right with his family is good. But why must he suddenly be criticized, crucified on public television? Aren't these issues his personal business and his companies who hire him? Shouldn't he rectify these issues himself? Does Dr. Phil really want to help him, or is he simply doing what every other big media mogul does, exploit the most explosive situations of the times to fill his own pockets? Sure, he's a doctor and that's what he does. But keep in mind that having him on his show and dragging his business through the critical lives of the public is what boosts his own ratings. So where is Dr. Phil's redeeming humility? Greed has a way of bringing out the worst in us all. Poor Ted has only made a measly $10,000 and already everyone is after him. Instead of a man on his way to the luxuries of the good life, this guy is beginning to look like someone listening to the Executioner's song. He looks thoroughly sick, frightened. He is obviously panicking, and I sense a part of him is already wishing he hadn't been rescued. The low-down graffiti is already being scribbled on the filthy doorway of reality. The public wants his head. Who is he to succeed when they are wallowing in economic depression themselves? Ted has gone from hope to despair and outright terror. Don't be surprised to see this whole house of cards come tumbling down soon. He's like a wild animal that has been trapped, saved by humans, brought in from the cold and placed in restricted quarters, fed on a specialized diet, chained and retrained, his life of freedom forever gone.